The Houston Texans have quickly faded into football irrelevancy just 3 years after making the playoffs and being considered contenders. A common occurrence when teams drop into the depths the Texans have, their few bright spots go virtually unnoticed, no matter how well they play. Fortunately for some, both fans and the media alike do their best to push them into the spotlight, or at least some amount of it. In this case, edge rusher Jonathan Greenard and wide receiver Brandon Cooks have been the ones beneficial from it. There's one player, however, who last season performed better than many others at his position, but wasn't regarded as such and is still unknown to many. Going into the 2018 NFL Draft, Division II Ferris State defensive back Tavierre Thomas was confident he would be drafted following a solid collegiate career that consisted of 175 total tackles, 14 interceptions, and 35 passes defensed, while picking up both first-team All-GLIAC and first-team All-Division II honors 2 years in a row. However, Thomas would go undrafted and sign with the Arizona Cardinals on April 30th. He would be waived, unfortunately, on September 1st, but picked up the next day by Cleveland. After making his NFL debut 4 days later, he worked himself into a special teams role, and in Week 7 against the Buccaneers, he made his best play of the year in a gunner role, downing this punt at the 1-yard line, which resulted in a safety 2 plays later. Thomas's rookie season concluded with the team lead in special teams tackles with 7, and added another playing at the corner position. 2019 brought slightly greater success with 9 tackles, a fumble recovery, and even a blocked field goal. Thomas also saw some time as a kick returner in 2019, taking 10 kickoffs for a total of 204 yards. In 2020, his role would expand again, and he became not only a special teams player, but a rotational slot corner, a position he saw more achievement in, finishing the season with 29 tackles and a sack, which came in Week 1 against the Ravens. The 2021 offseason brought major change for Tavierre. He signed with the Texans to aid their depleted secondary and was assigned a starting role. His experience at both corner and in the special teams showed immediately when in the third and final week of the preseason, he blocked another field goal, this time against the Buccaneers. Thomas had an incredible 2021, not only for his role, but as a corner in general. His 2021 season was miles better than his 3 previous ones, combined, totaling a whopping 75 total tackles, 2 pass deflections, and his first 2 interceptions, with the second one a pick 6 against Justin Herbert and the Chargers that sealed the upset win for the Texans and awarded him with the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. With the emergence of edges Jonathan Greenard and Jacob Martin, plus the much-improved play of safety Jonathan Owens and the flashes of resurgence from Desmond King, Thomas was able to thrive in his slot corner role and be a vital part to the evolving Texans defense. Many assume that a slot corner, or a corner of Tavierre's level, would not be going up against high-level competition, but that's simply not the case. Week 4 against Cole Beasley, he only gave up 1 catch for 16 yards. The following week against Patriots with Jacoby Myers, he only gave up 2 catches for 10 yards. Week 9 against Jalen Waddle, he gave up 15 yards on 2 catches and had a pass breakup. In Week 16, against one of the best route runners in the NFL, he only allowed Keenan Allen to 3 catches for 30 yards and another pass breakup, and in Week 18 against Julio Jones, he held him to 18 yards on 3 targets. Thomas never gave up more than 43 yards to a single receiver, only gave up 20 or more yards 4 times, and locked down many of the top receivers in the league, while often on an island with them. Looking into the advanced statistics, Tavierre ended the season with a 77.6 PFF grade, 31st in the league among corners, and higher than the likes of Kenny Moore, Denzel Ward, J.C. Jackson, and Trayvon Diggs, just to name a few. Over the entire season, he ended with a 54.8% snap share, and only allowed 231 yards on 25 receptions, 4th and 11th respectively among corners with 50+% snap share. As a slot corner, Tavierre was in man coverage 37% of the total snaps, or 68% of the snaps he was on the field. In the slot, he allowed just a 73 flat QBR, which puts him at number 2 out of any slot corner in the league. Yes, you heard that right. Number 2. Back to his 75 tackles, 43 were solo and 32 were assist. Looking at some other corners, let's say Jalen Ramsey, he racked up 77 total tackles, with 62 of them being solo. Ramsey allowed 660 yards in a 77.8% snap share, 23% above Tavierre, who gave up more than 400 less yards. The similarities in tackles, factoring in the difference in snap share, shows that Ramsey made a large amount of his tackles after giving up a catch, whereas Tavierre had almost the same amount while giving up a lot less yards. It's no secret Ramsey is a better corner, and that he goes against better competition. I'm not here to argue that, but I am bringing these stats up to show that Tavierre was not just extremely good in coverage last year, but was an extremely versatile and at times turned into a hybrid player, similar to Adrian Phillips and Isaiah Simmons. Also, in 17 games started, Thomas gave up only a single touchdown, half the amount of interceptions he racked up. Adding on, he only allowed 1.7 receptions per game and 15.4 yards per game, both elite in their categories. To say that Tavierre is completely unknown would be a false statement, with a few Houston-based articles being written about him and how underrated he is. However, the Texans fan base is not particularly large, with the average game attendance in the bottom half of the league, only a fraction of Houston fans really know about him. When told the name Tavierre Thomas, most NFL fans, including some Texans fans, will respond with the simple question of, who? While not an elite cornerback or a high-level one, Tavierre's improvement impacting the Houston secondary, both last year and likely this year and beyond, need to be noticed. In both the 2022 NFL Draft and throughout the 2022 NFL free agency period, the Texans added 3 key secondary members in Steven Nelson, Derek Stingley Jr., and Jalen Petrie. Lovie Smith has already come out saying that Petrie has earned his spot as a starting safety, and it is expected that Stingley will earn his as the cornerback 1 role. In a much improved secondary this year, Tavierre will be looking to improve on his 2021 success, with the team's only need in the secondary being slot corner, the position that he has thrived at in the past few years. When talking about the best upcoming corners for the season, Tavierre isn't mentioned in any conversation, obviously. However, the amount of respect he has earned is high and away from the amount he is given. Tavierre Thomas, only 26 years old, has gotten substantially better every season of his 4-year career, and year 5, year 6, and beyond that look extremely promising. He attempts to anchor and help the improving Texans defense under coach Lovie Smith, who took big strides last year in the defensive ranks. Coming into the 2022 season with extremely little hype surrounding him, Thomas was one of the best slot cornerbacks in the league last year, and he is going to be a name to remember and almost certainly going to surprise a lot of people. All that I can say is be on the lookout for number 37, cornerback Tavierre Thomas, flying around the field in Houston this year.